Hey guys, I'm that baker lady. Today I'm going to be showing you kids how to make a turkey cake for Thanksgiving. So this was part of the Nailed It cake kits that I do for my Instagram page at that baker lady. And what's included in each kit is 2 piping bags of frosting, and we did like kind of like a tan color for these. That's going to be for the head of our turkey. I have 1 piping bag of filling, and mine is just a chocolate mousse. 1 5-inch cake, mine's chocolate and they're already pre-cut. I have a board, yours is going to be a 7-inch round board. I just grabbed this 8-inch because it already had foil on it for me. You're going to have a piece of wax paper, a frosting scraper, 4 plastic spoons and 1 plastic knife, a baggie of candy melts, and we have brown, red, orange, yellow, and some white in there, and some fondant. We have red, yellow, red, and black with a little bit of Crisco just in case we need to roll it up. So the first thing we're going to be starting today is our candy melts. And what you want to do, you want to have little containers to melt these in the microwave safe containers. I'm going to do 4 different containers. So I'm going to do all of my red, and there are 20 red. You do all of my orange, there should be 20 orange. My brown and white I'm going to mix because I couldn't find like a tan color. So I'm going to put those in one, and then 1 for my yellow. And then I'll show you on wax paper what we're going to be doing. So you want to warm these up for 30 seconds at a time for 1.5 minutes. Okay, so I have all of my candy melts all melted. And I moved the camera so you can better see what I'm doing on the table. So I'm going to do about 4 to 5 of each color. And you just want to do little globs like that. So I'm going to do those first, working with my red. Now each one doesn't have to be the exact same size. You're going to want a few small ones for the front. Alright, so now what I want to do with these is I'm going to do a V shape, kind of swiping down to make the feather longer, just like that. So I'm going to do it with every one. And I'm going to repeat with each color that I have melted. And again, I have about 20 of each candy melts in each container that I've melted. Okay, so all of my feathers are done. I'm gonna leave them here to dry while I'm working on the rest of the cake. But while I have my camera like this, I'm going to move these to the side and we'll work on our fondant pieces for the turkey's face. Now again, I have white, red, yellow, and black. I've added a little bit of Crisco to my bag just in case I need it to roll out my fondant. Okay, so I'm going to start with the white of the eyes. What you're going to want to do is make 2 circles that are similar in size. Actually, I'll put this in this one. Okay, so I think those are pretty close. So with your balls, you are going to want to just flatten those out to make a perfect circle. And I'm just doing that with my finger and thumb, kind of squeezing it to flatten them out. You don't want your eyes to be too big, so I think that's a good size. Try to get them as similar as possible so that your eyes do still look the same. But if you have a funky turkey who's gonna have different eyes, then go ahead and do that. All right, so I think that's good. As similar as they'll get for now. Now we're gonna use the black for the pupils. And again, you wanna make 2 similar size balls to begin with. This one's a little bigger. Just roll it out in your palm, just like that. So those look pretty good, and we're gonna do the same thing. Flatten those out to make circles. And that's gonna go directly in the middle of the white circle you have already made. Work on this one. You see how there's little cracks? You just go around it, form it back together. It's just like playing with Play-Doh. Until you have your circle. Still a little chunky. Alright, so I'm gonna put that in the center and just form it. If you need to make it bigger, pat it in there really good so that it sticks. Kind of lost the shape of this one, so I'm trying to work it back out. So I have this. Okay, now we want to do a little speck for those eyes, and mine are going to be going in different directions. So let's see. I'll do one up here and maybe one down here. You just want to flatten that out so that it sticks again. Nothing too difficult with these. All right, so there I have my 2 cuckoo eyes. Now with the yellow, this is going to be our nose, and we don't need all of it, but we are going to try to form a triangle. You don't want it to be too pointy. If it's rounded out, that's perfect. Trying to remember what size I think that's good. Size it up to your eyes because you don't want it to be too big. Alright, and you can even use your bag to kind of help form that, or your wax paper, whichever you prefer. I hope you guys had a lot of fun with these. I think I'm gonna use all of it. Let's see. So what I'm doing now is I have a ball to start off with. I'm going to slowly start forming a smaller edge, and then I'm gonna leave this part thick. So I'm not really messing with this too much. I want this to be long, like a very long raindrop, like this. And you want it to gradually form this big bubble on the bottom. And this is gonna be right here. See, it's not long enough. I want it to pass my nose, so I'm just gonna do a little bit longer. Let's see, try not to lose that shape. And I think I'm happy with this. Can pat it down because you do want it to be flat so it sticks to the cake. And I think that's good. All right, so we have our pieces made. We have our feathers drying, so they're hardening up.
pretty much, they're almost done, but I'm gonna leave them for a little bit longer while we start putting the cake together. And I do still have fondant left. I didn't have to use my my shortening, but it's there if I did need it for any reason. Once you start working with your fondant a lot, you'll find that it starts sticking to your hand, so it's always best to just have it on hand just in case.
So what we're gonna be doing next is putting our cake together before we add all these pieces, so that we could add all these pieces. All right, so I have my 5-inch cake, and again, it's already pre-cut for me, so I can just start filling that. I can open it. All right, so I'm gonna put this on my board. I'm gonna use this so you can see a little bit better. All right, so you wanna get just the first layer as centered in the middle as you can. That will help you keep it flat, keep it level. Okay, so I have my chocolate mousse filling, and I'm just gonna go in a circle like this and fill that circle in, just like that. I'm gonna put your cake right on top. Don't push it down too much because that's when your cake will start breaking. So you just want to kind of push it down a little bit so that it sticks together and your second layer is not going to move while you're frosting it. Alright, so I have my second layer of filling. And then same thing, kind of push it down a little. Alright. Just want to clean these crumbs off of your board so that it doesn't show in your frosting. But with this cake, I don't think it's gonna matter too much because the crumbs might give it a little bit more texture to the turkey. So I'm gonna start frosting. I wanna start at the bottom and just move your board to do one layer at a time, just like this. I'm gonna continue this frosting technique until I get to the top. Alright, almost. Just put the excess on top so that I can grab my other piping bag with frosting. I think I made way too much frosting for this little cake. Then I'm just filling in the top right there. Now this is where you're gonna start using your plastic knife first to smooth out the top. Just like this. I just wanna make it so that this big old gob of frosting I just threw on top isn't going to affect the level part. So I wanna try to make it straight and level. Looks pretty good. Now I can start frosting the sides of my cake. Now I know you guys don't have the turntable, but you can still just move your board itself to do this part. These crumbs. So you don't need this at all. It just makes it easier. It's faster once you know exactly what you're doing. But look, I could just move my board and scrape that on my bowl that I have here. And it works the exact same. But I want this video to be too long, so I'm gonna use my turntable and just continue that. Okay, so I have some little indentions where it's not so smooth, and I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of my frosting that I have and fill in those little cracks.
some crevices that are there. You can also use whatever frosting you scraped off when you were smoothing out your cake. Put a little bit right there. Got some crumbs. Alright, so I'm just making sure that it's all in those little cracks before I start smoothing it out again with my frosting scraper. Alright, and those look good. I had a little bit right here I didn't think was even, so I added some more. And then part right here. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and continue smoothing my frosting on my cake. And again, if it's not very smooth, I think it will actually work in your favor this time because it'll give the turkey a little bit more texture, which will probably look very nice for this cake. I didn't plan for the frosting to come out tan, but I didn't have enough brown to make it look brown. So I kind of mixed in a little bit of red and yellow and I got this tan color. So I think it looks really cute. Okay, I'm gonna leave it like this. So I like my sides. Now what I wanna do is grab these edges that are not smooth. So this one I just smoothed out, but I still have this. So I want to bring that frosting towards me, and I'm using the side I already smoothed out to kind of level the rest of the frosting that's not so smooth, so I know exactly where it should be, if that makes sense. So this one I'm not just trying to smooth it out. I'm trying to make it so that each side is level. So I have a nice surface that's flat. We don't want any little hills and bumps up on top. Make it nice and clean. And really just worry about the sides, because the middle you're gonna have a bunch of the feathers on top, so that's shouldn't matter too much. All right, so here is my cake frosted. I'm going to clean my board really fast. Let me grab a napkin. So I just ripped my napkin in half, and I like to fold it up to get a sharp edge, a real sturdy edge. And I just put that edge right up against my cake and smooth out whatever clean the frosting from the bottom of the board. If you touch your cake, that's completely fine, because you can do the same thing to the bottom of the cake. Fold up your napkin, make a hard little corner, and press it up against your cake to smooth it out. And that is all. So we're gonna be able to add on our pieces now. And I'm thinking this is where I'll add them. So this is where my face is gonna be. I like to do the face first so that I know exactly where my feathers should be. So I'm gonna do the eyes first. And I'm just gonna put them maybe like a ½ inch away from the top of the cake. I have to turn it around because I feel like my eyes are not gonna come out straight. Alright. And you want them pretty close to each other. So softly push that in just so they stay on there, so they stick on there. You don't want to push it too much because you will push the frosting up and you'll see little bumps in there. It won't be as smooth as you guys have it right now. So now I'm gonna add my little nosy right there. And then our last little detail for the face. Just like that. So now we're ready to add on the feathers. I hope you guys had so much fun with this because I really liked this cake. I had planned to make a scarecrow in the beginning when I was thinking about my fall or Thanksgiving cake kits. But I felt like the scarecrows just had way too much going on and I wanted it to be fun but not difficult. So this I think was just the perfect amount of being a little difficult but very fun. You have a lot of different techniques, your frosting, your fondant, candy melts. I'm horrible with candy melts, but I felt like this was the way to go. These feathers are super fun and super easy. Again, about 4 candy melts for each feather. So I'm going to start my face. I'm gonna start right in the center and kind of work on that. Work from there. All right, so just like this. I don't want them, all the colors to be right by each other. Trying to just do a little here and there. If you made them too long, you can kind of crack them a little. See, I cracked the little pointy part off, and then we have some down here. Looks really cool too. Let's see. I'm gonna keep doing this as fast as I can so I can show you guys. Some more orange. I'd really like to know how you guys liked doing this, if you thought it was fun, if you thought it was difficult. If it was a good activity to do during Thanksgiving. I had these available the day before Thanksgiving. Hoping that, you know, gives the kiddos something to do. I hope you guys had a lot of fun with it, 'cause I did. And all I'm doing right here is adding the remainder of my feathers to the back. And, oh, I put that one backwards. Now my feathers are not completely touching each other. I don't know if you guys can see. I do have them spaced out so that it looks a little fuller. Like that. Very cool. All right, guys, that is my turkey cake tutorial for you kids. Please let me know how you liked doing it, if you thought it was difficult, if you need me to explain any kind of step that maybe I missed, because I know I'm working kind of fast, it's halftime, and I only have a little bit of time to make this video before football starts. So, happy Thanksgiving, guys, and please send me pictures of your cake.